Hello, and welcome back to episode 8 of fearmeitsbre podcast and blog. Today I was being recorded by my iPhone without realizing it when I was in my kitchen. Extra fun. It was taking a time lapse of my kitchen table, which is weird. I didn't press the button, I didn't open the camera, and that happens to me quite frequently where my camera just starts doing things when I don't even have my phone in my hand. Let's make sure it's not doing it right now because it's just weird. It's not. We're good. But yeah, that's an odd thing that happened to me today. Thought I'd start with that just for fun. Definitely they're listening. They are always listening. So today's kind of a weird day. I thought about actually doing this live because I kind of keep refreshing Twitter and checking things just to see if any update in the Trump drama has happened. So far nothing's happened that's super significant or anything. He has not been arrested so far as I know. So I wanted, in a way, to do this live in case something happened. I could be like, oh my gosh, hey, look, here it is. But that's not happening. I couldn't figure it out. I got frustrated by it. I'll deal with that at some point, so I can do that. So I'm probably going to post this one earlier than I normally would. Normally I'd post these around 7 at night, but I'm probably going to post this when I'm right after I'm done with it. Just because I don't want this to oh, that was from 7 hours ago or 9 hours ago or whatever it's going to be, and have it be totally useless, outdated information. So I'm definitely going to post this one earlier, and I'm going to talk about a few things other than Trump, just because who wants to just hear Trump all the time, aside from people on the left who just want to talk about how much they hate him, which is fine, whatever, do it if you want. So first, today, cool, fun thing, today is apparently Gary Oldman's birthday. So everybody who grew up on Harry Potter, I did not. I wasn't allowed to watch it. I didn't watch it till my husband and I were engaged, I think. So I don't have that nostalgia people have with Harry Potter, where they're just oh my word, Harry Potter. And that's all that I don't know, that weird millennial to Gen Z thing where everyone's just obsessed with Harry Potter. I'm not a part of that. I never really have been. I appreciated Gary Oldman more for things like the Dark Knight trilogy, where he played Jim Gordon. One of my favorite childhood movies was Quest for Camelot, and he voiced the villain in that, and he sang in it, and it was great. So, he's not someone I appreciated for Harry Potter necessarily, although now that I have seen Harry Potter, I do appreciate him in the role, and I think he was great at it. He was also great in Planet of the Apes, whichever... Was that the sequel of the reboots? Whatever one was after the one that had James Franco in it, that was the one he was in. So yeah, I enjoy Gary Oldman. I like him a lot. So that's cool that it's his birthday today. He's probably getting up there in years. I haven't really Googled his age or anything. So yeah, everyone's kind of just posting him as Harry Potter and Harry Potter related stuff, but that's not really who I don't know. My childhood, I don't think Gary Oldman and think Harry Potter, but the minute someone is oh yeah, Sirius Black, I'm all right, he was in Harry Potter, wasn't he? Like I said, I didn't see them till then I was an adult, and I have only seen each movie once, and I really only liked the last two. I tried reading the books even, and I couldn't get into them, and I think it's because, they start out more childish, and as you progress through them, they're supposed to grow with the reader, and I don't know. I like reading, but I don't have a lot of time in life right now, so if I'm going to read, it's going to be something that I really want to read, which currently, actually, I'm reading Jeanette McCurdy's autobiography, her memoir, that I'm Glad My Mom Died, and it's rough. It's very interesting, but it's rough. I haven't even gotten to her Dan Schneider part of it, where she talks about him, but it's rough. It's very good and very well written, though. I'm enjoying it. So that's actually what that's what I'm reading right now. So moving on from Gary Oldman, we're going to hop over to a Benny Johnson tweet where he shared a video of, what's her name again? Karine Jean Pierre, the White House press secretary, being kind of a witch to a reporter. And the reporter shouts back at her, "This is not Russia. You're making a mockery of the First Amendment," because she shuts him down, whatever question he was asking, treats him like utter dirt, and then proceeds to just kind of mock him after. And it just shows the attitude, I guess, of this administration's elitism, where it's just the way she acts is just so trashy and so frustrating, where she just talks down to the man. And I'm gonna play it. Sorry, my sound. I'm still working on it. It's really getting on my nerves, messing with all this stuff here. So at some point, I do plan on fixing things eventually. Let me just mess with a few buttons. I'm not sure how loud this is. It does have a slight echo. Again, I apologize, but we're just gonna roll with it.
Yeah, right. You're right. You're here for me. For me. No. Nope, that's not. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
I understand if they're getting heckled or if they're getting, like, you know, harassed by, because reporters can be relentless. Then yes, you might be like, "Hey, stop, enough, we're moving on." But just her attitude about it, if you keep watching, is what really kind of gets my goat.
From across the room, you've been discriminating against me and discriminating against some people in the briefing room. And I'm saying that this is the US, this is not China, this is not Russia.
This is not China, this is not Russia. He's calling her out for, I guess, silencing him.
This is not Russia.
Okay.
This is not Russia.
You're making a mockery of the First Amendment.
You're making a mockery of the First Amendment.
Decorum, please.
It's been 7 months. You've not called on me. You've done my messages.
It's been 7 months and you've not called on me. So I guess he's been there frequently and he has not been called on by Karine Jean Pierre for any questions.
I'm saying that's not right. That's not right.
Fun times welcome, guys.
Fun times welcome, guys. So she's making fun of the situation and laughing with her elite peers.
Welcome to the press briefing room. Okay.
This is not right.
Are we ready? Are we gonna behave?
How about you behave? How about you stop acting like an entitled, pompous windbag?
While many folks...
Decorum,
please.
Sorry to our guests. We apologize.
Yes, I apologize. Okay.
You should never apologize for doing your job and answering questions, which you're not even doing anyway. So maybe you should apologize because, I don't know, just her attitude about that. Maybe she was being heckled. Maybe she was being harassed. This video does not show us what happened right before this happened. But just the attitude that she has is a huge turnoff toward her. And she already has a lot of things going against her in my book. So I thought that was interesting to look at real quick. We're going to go out of that. And I'm going to hop back over here. And I like to narrate what I'm doing to remind myself what I'm doing. Sorry if it's annoying. So I'm going to find the next thing I was going to talk about. Just give me a couple seconds here. See if anything has happened yet with President Trump. I highly, highly doubt anything has happened with President Trump. La 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 la. Wow. Okay. Okay. So nothing significant has looked like it has happened. So I'm going to hop over to... I don't need that open anymore. I'm going to hop over to a Daily Mail article about the Trump indictment. Just it's from yesterday. I just thought it was an interesting one, and it isn't overly long that I remember. Maybe it is. I'm scrolling, and now I'm like, oh gosh. It's not overly long. There's just a ton of ads after it. So it also mentions Ron DeSantis and his reaction to the whole Trump indictment thing. So we're going to hop over here, and we're going to pull that up. All right. So, Trump's inner circle says New York indictment will only make him stronger because case is so weak and nakedly political, and Ron DeSantis, oh my gosh, if somebody uses that. Ron DeSantis has bungled the response. Trump insiders on Monday shrugged off prospect of an impending indictment. They said the mood in the camp was relaxed and cases against Trump were weak, and they ridiculed DeSantis for playing down the importance of the case. Trump insiders on Monday said they believe the former president has a strong defense to beat out any charges coming. A New York grand jury saying it would be very hard to prove that he had paid an adult movie star to keep quiet about an affair in order to improve his chances of being elected president. After all, said one Trump world figure, Trump's busy sex life was no secret and had been the stuff of front-page headlines in New York for decades. While Trump has huddled with advisors working out the best way to deal with impending charges, insiders offered an optimistic look. They said they believed the legal action would only strengthen his position within the party base, particularly after his likely 2024 Republican rival Ron DeSantis had bungled his response. As if to prove the point, DailyMail.com has heard from multiple Republican supporters who have said they have distanced themselves from Trump after the January 6 attack, and they were now ready to march to his defense. So, what this is all about is it going to go into that? I can't remember. It does. Okay. So that's the woman in question, Stormy Daniels, who is an adult film star who sells her body for money. So the fact that she potentially took money from Trump for sex doesn't surprise me. Not saying it's morally right, but how many other politicians have probably done this exact same thing, paid off an adult film star, or I'm being very mincy with my words because I'm not sure what YouTube allows you to say on this stuff, but use your imagination. What she does. She is not the first woman who has been paid off by a politician or man to not say anything. It sounds like she signed an NDA that she's violated, so it sounds weird to say she's in the wrong, but technically if she's violated an NDA and that was a legally binding contract, she's also broken the law in this situation. Trump has denied, I think, that shenanigans went on between the two of them, but let's continue reading and see what it has to say. It is very obvious that this is helpful, said one former advisor. A grand jury in New York was hearing from witnesses on Monday in the investigation into 2016 hush money payments to adult movie star Stormy Daniels, 44. I guess that means she's 44 now, not in 2016 though. Trump himself at the weekend offered the clearest indication yet that it would hand down charges when he claimed he was preparing to be arrested on Saturday. Yes, so he truth socialed his platform, a whole thing about, I'm probably going to be arrested on Tuesday. I want my supporters to go out and protest, which was a big red flag for me because, if the supporters go out and protest, it's just going to turn into another January 6th. No matter how peaceful they might be, that the left is going to use this and be like, look, another attack from these Trump zealots or something stupid like that. And maybe it does turn into a violent protest and maybe it's totally justified. But at the same time, you are literally pouring kerosene on fire here. So I don't think Trump should have said that. Sorry. Since then, supporters have rallied to his defense, accusing the Manhattan District Attorney's Office of pursuing a purely political case. The grand jury has heard evidence that the Trump Organization misstated the $130,000 payment to Daniels as a legal expense, which is normally considered to be a misdemeanor under New York law. So a misdemeanor, not a felony. That could rise to the more serious category of a felony if it can be proved to have hidden a more serious crime such as wire fraud or campaign finance offenses. So what they're going off of here isn't even anything that they have proof of. They're just saying there was a filing error here. Let's look into it. And maybe it hid some other crimes that Trump was into, supposedly. So they're literally just using this to try and say, well, he may have had motive to do other bad stuff. So let's just arrest him. Let's just get it over with. Trump's lawyers believe there's little chance of that. Of course, no one wants to be indicted, but is helpful politically and legally. It is not even that much of a threat because the case is so weak and looks naked politically. Looks nakedly political, said a member of Trump's inner circle. To get their business wire fraud charge, which they are evaluating to a felony, they first have to prove it was campaign finance violation because the purpose of concealing was to help his campaign. The reality is, what the F are you guys talking about? Does anyone really think Trump concealed this for the campaign when for 20 years his affairs have been the front page of New York Post? That is a good point. Trump is not a morally upstanding citizen, not justifying it at all. But he's never hidden any of his He's never hidden any of his did I just have a seizure on this stream? Wow. He's never hidden any of his escapades. Like, he never has. What's new? I don't not expect Trump to do something like this, honestly. But DeSantis had a response for it. Okay, so this is the one that's so this is the truth in question. That sounds funny. The truth in question. But Donald Trump's stupid Truth Social, he posted illegal leaks from a corrupt and highly political Manhattan district attorney's office, which has allowed new records to be set in violent crime and whose leader is funded by George Soros, indicate that with no crime being able to be proven, and based on an old and fully debunked by numerous other prosecutors fairy tale, the far and away leading Republican candidate and former president of the United States of America will be arrested on Tuesday of next week, which is supposed to be today. Protests take our nation back. So that's what Trump posted. And the fellow who's, the district attorney that wants to prosecute him is Alvin Bragg, this guy up here. He has been accused of a liberal witch hunt because, most people are saying this seems very politically driven. Can I pause that? No. Okay. Trump's allies also criticized DeSantis for taking 2 days to respond to the legal twist and then playing down the impending indictments. I don't know what goes into paying hush money to a porn star to secure silence over some type of alleged affair, the Florida governor told reporters. He went on to criticize Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan district attorney, but then said he had more important things to worry about. I've got real issues I got to deal with here in the state of Florida, he said. We've got so many things pending from the in front of the legislator. I've got to spend my time on issues that actually matter to people. I can't spend my time worrying about things of that nature. So they're setting up barricades in front of the New York City courthouse because they're expecting protests or whatever. Lower Manhattan court complex. DeSantis said it was a manufactured circus. Trump supporters blasted his stance publicly and privately, saying he had misread the mood. The former president's eldest son expressed his amazement on Twitter. So DeSantis thinks that Democrats weaponizing the law to indict President Trump is a manufactured crisis and isn't a real issue. He wrote on Twitter, pure weakness. Now we know why he was silent all weekend. He's totally owned by Karl Rove, Paul Ryan, and his billionaire donors, 100% controlled opposition. A former advisor familiar with thinking inside Trump's circle said DeSantis had badly miscalculated. We have seen Republican after Republican, even those who have fallen out of love with Trump, saying they are ready to get in the streets to defend him, he said. DeSantis could have nailed his colors to the mast on Saturday. It took him 2 whole days to work out his line, and then he completely blew it. Another source said, talk about a gigantic misread of Republican primary voters who pretty much all think that this is the most important issue. So feelings I have toward that, I would say DeSantis doesn't necessarily need to do more than he is. I get why he wants to stay out of it in the sense of like, if he wants to run for president, maybe that will affect him. But at the same time, he just stood up there and said that this is definitely political. It's a witch hunt. It's not something they should be doing. He criticized, what's his name? My brain's kind of mush today. He criticized Alvin Bragg, called him George Soros funded. So DeSantis definitely is on Trump's side in the sense where he's like, yeah, this is totally bullcrap. Like, this shouldn't be happening. But he's not taking a side in the sense of, he's not going to stand up there and say, you're not taking Trump. I'm the governor of Florida. You are not taking Trump out of my state without a fight. He is a citizen of Florida. Come and get him. You're going to have to go through me. Which I know a lot of people want him to do that. Just basically because it would show a spine, I guess, in the whole situation. Which, in some ways, maybe I think he should. Maybe he should stand up, because if they can do this to Trump, then they could do this to him. And can you imagine how much he would unite voters if he did that? To the point where people would be very interested in voting for him, because they'd be like, even though Trump has criticized you, said horrible things about you, accused you of doing things with underage girls, you still stood up for him when you saw that he was being falsely indicted, accused, whatever. Like, you stood up for the man. And DeSantis isn't going to do that, so that may or may not be troublesome for him in the future. We'll see what ends up happening with that. I wonder about it. on one hand, maybe it would be helpful if he stood up, maybe it wouldn't, but it might unify the Republican Party a little bit more because you have a Trump and DeSantis divide, and I think the people who are super, super, super Trump oriented would at least have more respect for DeSantis if he stood up for Trump, stood in front of Trump and said, you know, come try and take him, basically. So let's check this out again. Head back to Twitter. Nothing's really, nobody's said anything about Trump. Oh, this is funny. I saw this the other day. Show her it's a man's world. 70 years of feminism. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, there's nothing so far. No huge news stories saying, oh my word, here it is, here's the perp walk. People think that Trump wants the perp walk because he wants that kind of martyr image where it's like, look what they did to me, stand up, come vote for me, look what they did to me. Like, it might be good for his campaign on one hand, and then the left wants it because they want to be like, we finally got him. I mean, remember how excited they were to impeach him? Wasn't it like Tlaib was like, we're gonna go impeach the, insert swear word here, like she was very excited to go impeach him, even though it really did nothing for them. So can you imagine how elated they'd be if they actually arrested him? But can you imagine how funny it would be if they arrested Trump, looked into the charges, saw how bullcrap they are, had to let him go, and had to be like, so we were wrong. He's actually innocent of what we were accusing him for. And yeah. And then the left was like, it would be pretty funny. I don't think it's going to happen though. I don't even know if he's going to be arrested. I guess Trump was saying now that he probably won't be arrested till Wednesday. Like, he changed the story today. So it's confusing. Like I said, I keep checking Twitter. I keep refreshing it to see if there's any breaking news stuff on it. And so far there has not been. Kevin McCarthy has kind of an interesting words to say on it. So we'll hop over there and see what the Speaker of the House has to say. So Kevin McCarthy said, this is March 20th. So again, this is yesterday morning. This article came out from Daily Caller. Kevin McCarthy says Americans should not protest if Trump is indicted, which I kind of agree with. I haven't read like his full stance yet, so like I don't know if I agree with him, but like I don't think going out and protesting and giving them kerosene to cry wolf on another January 6th is necessarily the best move that Trump supporters could make. So what has Kevin said? Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy said on Sunday that Americans should not protest if former President Trump is indicted. Trump announced Saturday, we know that. He expects to be arrested by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office led by Alvin Bragg. I already read that, so I'm not going to read that again. It was in the tweet, or the truth. I hate that it's called that. Trump then urged his supporters to protest if the arrest occurs. McCarthy spoke out about his comments Sunday. I don't think people should protest this. No, McCarthy said according to NBC News, and I think President Trump, if you talk to him, he doesn't believe that either. Nobody should harm one another, he reportedly continued. We want calmness out there. McCarthy, however, also defended Trump and ripped Bragg's investigation as politically motivated. Lawyer after lawyer will tell you this is the weakest case out there, trying to make a misdemeanor a felony, McCarthy said according to NBC News. The last thing we want is somebody putting their thumb on the scale of justice simply because they don't agree with somebody else's political view, and that's very true. What famous countries arrested their political opponents? Everyone that was run by a literal fascist dictator. Germany in the 1930s and 40s. How many South American countries are doing that right now? Africa. Basically everywhere that's not America and is under a more oppressive regime. That is what is wrong and what infuriates people, and this will not hold up in court if this is what he wants to do. The potential indictment relates to a years-long investigation into whether Trump paid hush money to a former porn star, Stormy Daniels. Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, sent $130,000 to Daniels so that she would not disclose an alleged earlier affair. Cohen, I don't know. I think like the Cohen brothers who did Oh Brother Where Art Thou? Maybe it's like that. Cohen claims Trump reimbursed him for the payments. Authorities are investigating whether Trump forged business records to hide the alleged payout. One thing that people keep complaining, and saying is that, well, Trump used campaign money. I don't think we have proof of that. It just looks like we have a little bit of a fudged ledger that isn't clear as to what those payments were. And do you think Trump really needed to use his campaign money to pay off Stormy Daniels and have her sign an NDA? No. The man had money before he was campaigning. He could literally just pull it out of his own pocket at that point. So that's interesting. Still nothing really on Trump. No arrests have been made. Nothing's happening. Not like I'm like, oh, hurry up and get arrested. But in a way, you're kind of just like, if something's going to happen, can it just happen? Because we're all kind of just sitting on our hands waiting. It's, you know, it just kind of feels dumb. Yeah, so that's another thing. Again, not to totally justify Trump having an affair with a porn star, because that's morally wrong. I'm not saying it's good, but think of Bill Clinton, who paid off his women. Think of all the things the Obamas have done, all the things the Bidens have done, and yes, the things that the Bushes have done. Some of them were worse in the sense of they were actual crimes and felonies. So I think if we are going to prosecute and we are going to indict and arrest Trump for this, every other politician out there should get in line, because you got something on you too that probably should be brought to light. Just saying. But if we started indicting every politician for their minor misdemeanors, tongue twister for me, I guess, today, for their minor misdemeanors and even potentially felonies, we would have nobody left in Congress or the Senate or the White House. So we can't do that now, can we? At least have the same standard on all sides here, okay? If you're gonna do this. So, you know, we talked about McCarthy and his opinion. Not a huge McCarthy fan, but he is doing some good things. So interested in his I am interested in his opinion of it, especially since he is the Speaker of the House. It's kind of an important position. And then we have Jim Jordan, James Comer, and Brian Steele of the House Judiciary Committee are demanding communications, documentations, and testimony from Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg related to his reported upcoming indictment of President Trump. So that's interesting. I guess I could pull that up right here. Sorry. I had coffee earlier and I think the dairy is like in my throat right now. The creamer. It's very good, actually. It was a Chobani and it was a limited edition springtime flavor. It was white chocolate raspberry. And if you don't like really sweet things, you will not like it. But if you have a sweet tooth, you will love it. I recommend it. It's delicious. I think I found it right at Walmart. So they at least have it. I know other grocery stores carry that Chobani creamer, but they don't always have like the fancier ones. They just have like the standard French vanilla or something like that. But anyway, side note, go try that. It's delicious. Yeah, so Congress of the United States, March 20th, 2023. So again, this is from yesterday. Dear Mr. Bragg, I don't know if I'm going to read the whole thing because it's like 4 pages long, but I'll start at least. You are reportedly about to engage in an unprecedented abuse of prosecutorial authority, the indictment of a former president of the United States and current declared candidate for that office. This indictment comes after years of your office searching for a basis, any basis, on which to bring charges, ultimately settling on a novel legal theory untested anywhere in the country and one that federal authorities declined to pursue. If these reports are accurate, your actions will erode confidence in the even-handed application of justice and unalterably interfere in the course of the 2024 presidential election. In light of the serious consequences of your actions, we expect that you will testify about what plainly appears to be a politically motivated prosecutorial decision. The New York County District Attorney's Office has been investigating President Trump since at least 2018, looking for some legal theory on which to bring charges. The facts surrounding the impending indictment have been known for years. Michael Cohen, President Trump's disgraced former lawyer, pleaded guilty over 4 years ago to charges based on the same facts at an issue in the impending indictment. By July 2019, however, federal prosecutors determined that no additional people would be charged alongside Cohen. Now, in the words of one legal scholar, you are attempting to shoehorn the same case with identical facts into a new prosecution, resurrecting a so-called zombie case against President Trump. Even the Washington Post quoted legal experts are calling your actions unusual because prosecutors have repeatedly examined the long-established details but decided not to pursue charges. The legal theory underlying your reported prosecutions appear to be tenacious and untested. Bringing charges for falsifying business records is ordinarily a misdemeanor subject to a 2-year statute of limitations, which would have expired long ago. State law, however, allows a district attorney to elevate nominal misdemeanor conduct to a felony charge if the intent to defraud includes an intent to commit another crime or to aid or conceal the commission thereof. Such a showing would extend the statute of limitations to 5 years, which would likely expire soon, and thus explains your rush to indictment. The only potential speculated crime that could be alleged here would be a violation of campaign finance law, according to one scholar, a charge that the Justice Department has already declined to bring. That's interesting. In addition to the novel and untested legal theory, a star witness for this prosecution has a serious credibility problem, a problem that you have reportedly recognized. The case relies heavily on the testimony of Michael Cohen, a convicted perjurer with a demonstrable prejudice against President Trump. Cohen pleaded guilty to lying to Congress in 2018 and 2019 when he testified before Democrats on the House Oversight Committee to aid their fruitless investigation into President Trump. Cohen lied again 6 times. Cohen has been vocal about his deeply personal animus toward President Trump. Under these circumstances, there is no scenario in which Cohen could fairly be considered an unbiased and credible witness. The inference from the totality of these facts is that your impending indictment is motivated by political calculations. In January of 2022, soon after you took office, you expressed doubts about President Trump's case and suspended the investigation. This decision caused 2 of your top investigators, Carrie Dune and Mark Pomerantz, to resign in protest and publicly denounce your work. Pomerantz, in particular, heavily criticized you for declining to bring charges at that time, and Dune and others are now weighing ways to bar President Trump from holding future offices. Pomerantz has published a book in the past month excoriating, it's this word up here, you for not aggressively prosecuting Trump. The Washington Post reported that you were deeply stung by his criticism. The facts of the matter have not changed since 2018 and no new witnesses have emerged. The Justice Department examined the facts in 2019 and opted not to pursue further prosecutions at that time. Even still, according to reporting, the investigation gained some momentum this year, and your office convened a new grand jury to evaluate the issue. The only intervening factor, it appears, was President Trump's announcement that he would be a candidate for president in 2024. Your decision to pursue such politically motivated prosecution, while adopting progressive criminal justice policies that allow career criminals to run the streets of Manhattan, requires congressional scrutiny about how public safety funds appropriated by Congress are implemented by local law enforcement agencies. In addition, your apparent decision to pursue criminal charges where federal authorities decline to do so requires oversight to inform potential legislative reforms about the delineation of prosecutorial authority between federal and local officials. Finally, because the circumstances of this matter stem in part from the special counsel Mueller's investigation, Congress may consider legislative reforms to the authorities of special counsels and their relationships with other prosecuting entities. Accordingly, to advance our oversight, gotta start over there. I had a little bit of an interruption. Congress may consider legislative reforms to the authorities of the special counsels and their relationships with other prosecuting entities. According to advance our oversight, please produce the following documents and information for the period January 1st, 2017 to the present. All documents and communications between or among the New York County District Attorney Federal... Wow, my brain's distracted now. Let me try that again. All documents and communications between or among the New York County District Attorney's Office in the U.S. Department of Justice, its component entities, or other federal law enforcement agencies referring or relating to your office's investigation of President Donald Trump. All documents and communications sent or received by former employees Carrie Dune and Mark Pomerantz referring to or relating to President Donald Trump. And all documents and communications referring or relating to the New York City County District Attorney, I want to say country, attorney's office, receipt, and use of federal funds. In addition, your testimony is necessary to advance our oversight and to inform potential legislative reforms. We therefore ask that you testify in a transcribed interview about these matters as soon as possible. Please provide this information and contact committee staff to reschedule your transcribed interview as soon as possible, but no later than 10 a.m. on March 23rd, 2023. So that would be like in a 2-day time span. Pursuant to Rule X of the Rules House of Representatives, the Committee on the Judiciary has jurisdictions over criminal justice matters in the United States. The Committee on House Administration has jurisdiction over matters concerning federal elections. The Committee on Oversight and Accountability may examine any matter anytime if you have questions, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, they all signed it because official stuff needs to be signed. So that's interesting. I wasn't going to read the whole thing, but then I started reading it and I was like, this is actually kind of interesting, so I'm not going to not read it. So, yep. Still no arrests have been made, right? Still nothing crazy has happened. Still no perp walk. So maybe Trump's right. Maybe nothing's gonna happen till tomorrow, or maybe nothing at all. Maybe they got scared with all of the backlash, and now they're not going to do it at all. Or maybe the backlash is going to make them want to do it even more because they realize that if we arrest Trump, we could start a riot. And if we start a riot, we could, you know, peg all the rioters as these terrible, horrible terrorists, just like January 6th. So who knows what they're going to do? So far, nothing has happened. We'll see. So we've looked at that. We have looked at that. And now, just because I love everybody who watches this show, we're going to look at a video from Dylan Mulvaney. So much fun, right? Let's go find that terrible, terrible video. And just another example of how freaking creepy this man is, okay? All right, I'm going to play it.
I am Eloise. I am 6. I'm a city child. I live at the Plaza Hotel, which is huge and wonderful and très elegant, especially at Christmas time.
So, everyone's huge issue right now, I mean, there's other issues too, right? But the biggest thing right now is Dylan Mulvaney supposedly has transitioned, and not fully, okay? He's only had face reconstruction surgery. He hasn't done anything else. He's getting the attention he wants by putting on this whole charade of being a girl. And the creepiest thing is he's not emulating a woman. He's not pretending to be a woman, right? He's pretending to be a little girl. Everything he does is very little girlish. That video was little girlish in the most uncomfortable of ways. And it almost feels pedophilic. No, it does feel pedophilic, actually, if you watch that. Because, oh my gosh, like, who does that? He's talking about how no one wants to date him now that he's a woman. Now that he's a girl. And I think if anyone wanted to date him acting like that, then they're probably a pedophile and are attracted to little kids because he's trying to act like that. So anyway, that's your daily dose of Dylan, I guess. Not a fan. Oh, you know, he did that thing recently where he sang that song from crap. I was going to do a video on this and I forgot about it. He sang that song from Stranger Things. Crap, what is it? Kate? I'm drawing such a blank. It's that, Running Up That Hill. I guess in the end, it's a good thing I wasn't able to do this live because I've had to stop multiple times at this point. So, anyway, we were talking about Dylan Mulvaney and his utter creepiness. And I guess he was just talking about, like, crying about his struggles of being a girl and how he sang that Stranger Things song, Running Up That Hill. Everyone probably knows it at this point. But I'm going to try and find it. I know Allie Beth Stuckey had shared something about it where she put up a video about it. I want to see if I can find it because she had a good take. But basically crying about how hard it is to be a woman. a girl. Okay. It was on Instagram, so I guess I'm not going to find it on here. So let's see if we can find Dylan. All right, let's see if we can find... He had like some kind of show that he put on or whatever, some kind of live show for his... Here we go, for his day 365 of being a girl. I'm going to turn it down because I don't care about craft store ads. Ads over. So I'm not going to play the... I'm going to be careful about how I play this just because I got copyright struck last time with that Stephen Colbert video. So I'd prefer that not to happen again, but we will see what happens. Maybe if I pause throughout. I did hear if you mess with playback speed a little bit. Let's see if that helps. Sorry, you're gonna hear like Dylan on steroids, basically.
It doesn't hurt me. Do you want to feel how it feels? Do you want to know that it doesn't hurt me?
I feel like you're not getting the effect, so I'm gonna take it off the playback speed and I'm just gonna pause it throughout so that we can actually like...
Do you want to hear about the deal I'm making? And if I only could, I'd make a deal with God, not get him to swap our places.
Okay, I feel like he actually, if he wasn't on so much stuff and wasn't trying to be feminine, he might actually have a decent voice. Like, I can tell he's trying to interject being a girl into this, but his voice isn't actually half bad.
Running up that road, be running up that hill, be running up that building. If I only could. And if I only could, I'd make a deal with God, now get him to swap our places.
Anyway, it actually like doesn't, like I said, if he wasn't being weirdly falsetto, it might actually sound okay. Let's see if this is where he starts talking or if it's even in this video. No, it's just more singing. Speak, Dylan. Okay, maybe it'll play it. Maybe not. No, it won't. Anyway, he did that performance as his day 365 of being a girl. I'm trying to find where he was talking about it because he was talking about how hard it was to be a woman and how he feels like he has a good relationship with God, or he tries to maintain a relationship with God. And it's just very sad because it's not true. You're not maintaining a relationship with Christ like you say you are if you're going on and acting like this. Just because if Dylan followed the Bible even remotely, he wouldn't be living this lifestyle. Also, Dylan called out like every Daily Wire host apparently in that video, which is really funny because he was, you know, all of them have said bad things about me and I'm so upset. And it's like, yeah, dude, you're kind of a bad person, so... And then there's another video of Dylan Mulvaney that just is living proof that all he wants is attention, and he realized being a girl gives him attention, right? So I'm going to play that video, actually. It's from The Price is Right, when Dylan was a man, still, in his head, whatever. And he acts exactly the same. You can tell that literally he just wants attention, and he's literally doing whatever he can to get that attention. Not saying that he's not... No, I'm not saying he's mentally okay, but he definitely is using this I want attention to get himself attention. And this was 2 years ago?
Let's make it Dylan Mulvaney. Come on down.
Watch out, crazy.
George, how about a
This is him getting excited and reacting, I guess, to winning the monies.
Dylan, how you doing?
Dylan, how you doing? You okay there? Basically, where he's like...
Leg levelers with a...
Okay, let's find... There's another part where he's even more... Do-do-do-do-do. Is it here? Oh gosh, it might be here.
Yes! You got it! Dylan's a winner! Dylan's a winner! Dylan, nice job, man.
Dylan has said too in the past where he's said he wants to be famous and he wants to do anything it takes to get famous and he wants attention. And yeah.
Look at that. We're going to spin the wheel right after this. Don't go away, folks.
Anyway, this is just a montage, I guess, of Dylan. See? He was an actor. He knows how to act. He knows how to draw attention to himself. And what is it they say? Like, any press is good press, where even if they're saying bad things about you, you're still getting the attention you want, which is clearly what's happening. Wow. Which is clearly what's happening with him. Whether he's fully in on this I'm a girl thing or he's just not okay in the head, I still think that he's playing for attention. Yeah. I saw that video a long time ago, but people have been sharing it again recently. So I thought it was kind of interesting to pull up. Yeah. Brett Cooper, Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro and all them totally got yelled at by Candace Owens. They all got yelled at by Dylan Mulvaney in his live show. So, yeah. Yep. So, anyway, let's just check one more time, see if anything has happened with Trump. I highly doubt it. No. Nothing. Nothing so far. So, oh yeah, this is funny. Okay, I guess we'll jump onto one more thing. Gwenyth Paltrow is scheduled to stand trial on Tuesday in a lawsuit filed by a retired optometrist, an eye doctor, claiming that the actress violently crashed into him in 2016 while skiing in Utah. So while everybody's ranting about Gwenyth Paltrow and her starvation diet thing, where it's like she's apparently encouraging people to, I only eat soup for lunch. That's why I'm so skinny. And you got Meghan McCain and Tess Holliday and them yelling at her and being like, you're encouraging starvation. I guess that's the least of her problems right now. Gwenyth Paltrow doesn't sound like the healthiest person in the world. She also does rectal enema fart therapy where she reverse farts, I guess, and that's somehow beneficial to you. But yeah, trial begins for Deer Valley ski crash. The actor is scheduled to stand trial Tuesday in a lawsuit filed by Terry Sanderson. Sanderson says Paltrow violently crashed into him while skiing in 2016 in Utah. His attorney says Paltrow knocked him on the ground and caused serious injuries. Sanderson is suing Paltrow for $300,000, claiming that the accident was a result of negligence. Paltrow filed a counterclaim, arguing Sanderson was the culprit and is trying to exploit her celebrity and wealth. So, yep. Sounds like Gwenyth is in a little bit of trouble, which is kind of funny. I doubt anything will come of it. She's a celebrity, right? They never got in trouble for anything. So, okay. I suppose with that, I've got to go piece this together now that I had a few interruptions. I'm going to have to fight with DaVinci and actually squish all these videos together in a way that makes sense. So, maybe I'll make another video if things get interesting. I would love to do live at some point. I thought today would be a good day for it. Didn't end up working out, and I'm kind of glad it didn't because I would have awkwardly had to walk away from the camera a few times to go fix stuff that's going on out there. So that said, thank you for watching. I didn't say any of this at the beginning because I didn't think to for some weird reason, but if you'd like to follow along, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at fearmeitsbre. I'm on Minds as well, which I tend to forget about. And then I'm hoping to have another episode maybe out by Thursday. This one's going up a lot earlier than normal because, like I said, I wanted the information to be fresh. I'm probably going to set it as a premiere as soon as I'm done editing and fixing it to post. So, hope everyone has a great rest of their day. May or may not be back on. And if I'm not, I hope that everyone has a good day. And if you're going to go protest, make sure you're peaceful. Don't give them any reason to arrest you, and they probably still will, even if you don't give them a reason to. So be careful, because I think January 6th 2.0 has potential of happening. So have a great afternoon, everyone, and I will see you next time.